Hey everyone, Shane here with etrailer.com. Today I have a 2015 BMW X5. I'm going to walk through how to install the Curt powered taillight converter kit. This is going to give you your 4-pole connection so that if you're pulling a small trailer that doesn't have brakes on it, it's going to give you all your proper lighting functions so you're legal and safe. Brake signals, turn signals, and running lights. It's going to have a nice dust cap so when you're not using it, you can put the dust cap on over the connections and it keeps them from getting clogged up or corroded. This is designed to live inside of the vehicle. It doesn't necessarily mean you can't put it outside. It will work outside as well, but the way this is manufactured, it wires inside. So you can see I kind of have it run underneath the tailgate here. Running it through there is not going to damage the wiring. When you're done using it, so you pull out your compartment and your little foam container over here, you roll it up, store it right inside there, and it'll be ready to go for the next time. This is going to give you 4.2 amps per circuit for your stop and turn signals, 7.5 amps per circuit for your taillights. It's also going to come with a converter box, as I mentioned. The converter box is going to protect your factory wiring on your vehicle from any backfeed from the trailer if there's a wiring problem. For instance, if there's a short, a lot of times the short will feed where the power is coming from, or feed back to where the power is coming from. Since our vehicle is giving the power to our trailer, when that short feeds back, that converter box is going to stop that short from getting to our factory wiring on our vehicle, causing us a lot of extra money to fix that wiring that we don't really need to. This wiring doesn't only have to be used when pulling a trailer. That being said, it is adaptable or compatible with 5, 6, and 7-pole adapters, which you can find here at etrailer. Let's say we're not pulling a trailer. Maybe we have a cargo carrier on here that has lights. Maybe we have a cargo box, and that box covers our license plate. Most states, when you have a license plate, you have to have a license plate light. When the cargo box covers the license plate, they give you a bracket to mount the license plate, and then wiring that comes with the light on it, to where you can move the license plate out to the outside of the box. 4-pole will plug directly into that plug on that cargo box to give you the license plate light and your light functions for your brake signals and turn signals that you would need. Start your installation. You need to come in the back of the vehicle. You're going to raise your floor. We're going to pull out the panel on our passenger and driver's side. On our driver's side, we're going to have this foam compartment. We're going to pull it out as well. Our wiring that goes to this plug, we need to disconnect the plug from our tail light. We're going to do that same thing on the other side of the vehicle. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take an 8mm socket. We're going to remove the bolts that are holding this cover over our battery. We determined through testing that the black wire with the yellow stripe is going to be our left turn and brake signal. This yellowish color wire, yellowish green wire with the looks like maybe a brown stripe, is going to be our running light signal. This means that we're combined. On our converter kit, it's going to have a yellow, brown, white, black, green wire. The red wire, if your system was a separate signal, this would be your brake signal. Since it's not, we're going to be grounding it with the white wire. So we're not going to worry about hooking it up just yet. We're going to go ahead and work with our running light signal on our converter box and then our left brake and turn. So I'm actually going to take this back to about here. We're going to have a quick splice connector. We're going to slide it over our wire. Take the yellow wire from our converter box, and we're going to slide it up like that. Pliers, and we're going to push down that center. Snap it closed, and we'll move on to our brown wire. Running light signal, do the same thing. I'm going to make sure that wire's fully seated in there. You might have to pull that little tab out just a little bit. When you push these in to one end, the other end's closed. Push it in until it stops. If it hits that, pull that out a little bit so you make sure you get it all the way in there. Otherwise, when you go to compress that, it doesn't pinch the wire and you're not going to get the signal that you want. plug this back in. Our green wire goes over to our passenger side. I'll route it right underneath it here. Black wire is our power wire. You're going to have a bundle of black wire like this. There's a black box that's attached to this sidewall here. Right down underneath of it, there's enough room where we can get this mounted right underneath of it so it doesn't get in the way of our foam compartment that goes in there. I cut myself off about 3 or 4 foot. I got myself a little bit extra just in case I go to mount it down there and I just don't like the way it's sitting. So cut yourself off some extra. We're going to trim off one side or strip back one side. We're going to add on the butt connector. And we're going to add it onto this black wire coming off our converter box. Now it's easier to make this connection before you actually mount this down underneath or wherever you're going to mount it, because the wire coming off there is a little bit short. And once we get that, we'll take our 2-sided tape, take our black wire, route it under. There for now. I think what I'm going to do with these, I'm going to cut this ring terminal off, splice these two together with another ring terminal. Then we can take our self-tapping screw and we pretty much can mount it, our ground, anywhere on a metal surface inside of this box. I think I'm going to go straight down right along this front edge. I'm going to go straight down through the floor. Once we get our driver's side done, I would double check to make sure this container is going to fit back in here. You're not going to be pulling on your green wire or your black wire. I've got it kind of ran down and over. It fits in there fine. So now I'm going to go over and hook up the passenger side before I hook up to the battery. Our passenger side brake turn signal for our green wire is going to be the same as the driver's side, black with a white stripe. Now I went ahead and inserted my foam container here so that I know I have enough wire, cut it to size, stripped it back and added on a butt connector. We're going to take the fuse holder that comes in the kit. We're going to add one end into the end of the butt connector. Crimp it down. On the other end, we're going to add on the ring terminal that comes in the kit. Attach it right here under this nut. You want to make sure the fuse is not on the holder when you make this connection. Once you have it connected, go ahead and add in your fuse. Then we can test everything out and make sure it's working correctly. Now we'll test everything out using part number I26. Brake lights, running lights, left turn, right turn. Now that we know everything's working as it should, we can start putting our panels back in place and we're ready to go. So going to do it for a look at and installation on the Curt powered taillight converter kit on a 2015 BMW X5.